We got classics, we got new stories, wild worlds to view. Samurai, swords to Macamite. Every episode ignite the night. Hurry up, get ready to go. Feel the hype, it's about to flow. Anime unlock, turn it up. Energy blast, fill your cup. Anime unlock, turn it up. Energy blast, fill your cup. Old school, new school, never stop. It's a vibe, it's a drop, it's a bop, bop, bop. From the ninjas in the hit and miss to the stars where the myths exist. Villains rise, heroes fight, we're breaking it down every night. Enemy dreams in neon glow. Unfold the tales you need to know. From action-packed to heartfelt scenes, we're unlocking all your dreams. We got new stories, wild worlds to view. Samurai, swords to Macamite. Every episode ignite the night. Power up, get ready to go. Feel the hype, it's about to flow. Samurai sword, ignite the night. Power up, get ready to go. Feel the hype, it's about to flow. To view, samurai swords to next to met the night. Every episode ignite the night. Power up, get ready to go. Feel the hype, it's about to flow. Old school, new school, never stop. It's a vibe, it's a drop, it's a bop, bop, bop. From the ninjas in the hidden mist to the stars where the myths exist. Villains rise, heroes fight, we're breaking it down every night. Anime dreams in neon glow. Unfold the tales you need to know. From action-packed to heartfelt scenes, we're unlocking all your dreams.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your host, CBN Tech Talk. Let me stop that. I don't know if I can. Hey Dave, what's going on, everybody? This is CBN Tech Talk, aka Black David, aka Bear Paul. This is my co-host, Wally, aka the Petty Debater, aka He Got Your Receipt. This is Wednesday, August 20th, 2025. We're in midweek, and there's another episode of Enemy Unlock. How you guys doing? How's everybody doing? Hope everybody can hear me. Let me know. I'm checking my feedback. I hope there's no issue on my end.
I can hear you.
What? How you doing, Wally?
Going on.
I'm just taking it one day at a time. I was watching AEW wrestling, get myself ready, get everything worked out. Notice I had to make sure every show when we talk about certain anime, we are in uniform. See my background, see the background of the show. So I had to represent, right? Hey, well, this is the animation talk show. Sometimes you had to go to the nitty gritty. Sometimes you had to dig a little deep and pull out the stop, right?
Oh, indeed.
Hey, you won't be doing the right thing if you wasn't. So, how was your week so far?
I mean, as far as just me in general, it's been okay. Other than that,
Mm.
let's just say certain people need to be fired from their damn jobs.
I agree with that one, but too many people need to get fired. Way too many. I don't know how certain people even got in to begin with. They couldn't be class president in school. How they to do this bullshit? Unintended. I was looking forward to this conversation because, how you gonna say this? I remember when the talk came up about creating this particular anime, and the one particular person was supported behind the scenes, and I was like, why? I'll be honest though. Let me be honest. I was judging it before they did the production because one, in particular anime didn't have much of a comic book or anything. What it would have no storyline, no plot. It was all about creating something because anime was taking a huge chunk of the airway, going fast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when they did this, and I was thinking, okay, you do a movie, fine. You do the anime series, okay. Let's see how far this we're gonna go, right? Let's see how far they're gonna push it. Now, me being critical, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I wouldn't think it would be and it would be good at all or anything. When I first watched it, I was totally taken aback. I was like, uh, hmm, well, wait a minute. It kind of catchy though, but it had that. I don't want to be shady or grimy or anything. It had that flair like you just took Ninja Scroll and matched it with the Boondocks, so to speak, to create this. It had that feels. And the storyline, the plot, I was like, they need to expand it a little bit more because I almost felt they didn't really put a pinky to him. They handed, but then with, that's what you're doing. They need to do better. What do you think? And I'm being myself before we start the conversation. Because I had to be honest. I was thinking, did this fit in? What was your view?
Say it again.
What was your view for putting after someone first part? Or you first
Your mic is a little bit off. So, like, something's not.
Hmm?
Say it again. I'm not hearing you too clear.
Sorry. When you
Okay,
heard
now
of this anime, when you heard of this anime was being in production, you were creating it. What was your first thought of it when you first heard of it?
when I first seen it,
Yeah, I'm talking about when you first heard they will create this particular production. What was your thought
uh,
process when you're hearing it
as
first?
far as me hearing about it, I didn't hear about it until I actually saw it. When I saw it, I
Hmm.
was like, "Oh, this is cool." Because I mean, from the initial standpoint, when you hear a lot of historicals, which I wish it sort of played a little bit of part of, there's a lot of historicals on, you know, there were black people back in the good old days of the world of samurais,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't speak on that historical part, which is funny because it's like Afro Samurai is not just some gimmick. This you can actually trace it back in some form of history.
And I get you that. But here the joke though, they actually did one anime that's based on that particular hit called Yasuke on Netflix, which was based on, yes, but it's totally correct. There was a black samurai originally from Africa. Somehow he was a slave who found a way to escape from the slave ship and he found his way in Japan. Do a tour. And they said in history book, based on the anime, how they were projecting it, dude strength level was unheard of. So he was a samurai whereby, man, they had to get higher help to take him out. Dude was a threat. It's one thing you was a slave, but he was a slave. He came on a ship, based on the anime was showing that. And he learned the art skill of fighting under them to the point that he was so good at it. It was mind-boggling to them. It was a juggernaut. Let's put it like that. He was the original Afro Samurai. I can't call him Afro Samurai because based on the anime, they had him in dreadlock. But that dude was like a walking threat. That's how bad it is. So when I saw this, I was thinking they will become something bigger, like pull something out of it. And the fact it didn't go too far like it should have, I was thinking, what would have let down? But you had Samuel L. Jackson, one of the biggest African American actor behind this project, right? He did the voice. He would do the voiceover for the character.
Yep.
So you would think it will go further, but I was always having that thing behind my head telling me, I think the American need to be taking it easy when you want to jump Japanese genre of what they do best. Because when we started this show, we would want to talk about how we want to explain to people what Japanese animation really is. Because when we talk about different topic on different production, people start to realize the production have been going on since the 70s, almost close to the 60s, but with the 70s though. 78, they were doing anime in Japan. They were way ahead of their time. And they progressed over time to the point of perfection. We found out a lot of the cartoon that we were watching back in the 80s was actually Japanese animation in disguise. And what's done by Japanese animators? When you watch the critic, you start to see the Japanese made up there. You start to under the category animator. You were like, I was a kid. I caught on to it. I was like, okay, what is that? Not realizing they recruited some of the people from Japan to help with the production. And I waited, right? Okay, they did the Afro Samurai, the series. Then they did the movie Afro Samurai Restoration. I was like, okay, maybe we'll do something big after that. That was it. So let me read this one so people can comprehend what I'm talking about. Based on the Japanese Sanai Dojishi manga series of the same name, very interesting, the same name. The 5-episode anime TV series Afro Samurai was produced by Gonzo, one of the very popular anime production company, and released on Spike TV in 2007. Shout out to Spike TV, with formerly I forgot what the name was. It was a nerdy ass name. That wanted to be a channel for gamers and stuff like that before they did the Spike TV. It's a tale of revenge and survival set in a futuristic yet feudal timeline. Yet feudal Japan. The story follows Afro, a skilled swordman, as he seeks to avenge the death of his father, who was killed for the COVID #1 headband. Interesting. This headband is worn by the world's most powerful warrior, a figure of godlike proportion. The number two headband is the only other one of its kind. Its holder is the only one who can challenge the number one. Afro, the holder of the number two headband, is relentlessly hunted by a wide array of ruthless and powerful enemies, all of whom seek the right to challenge the number one. Along with his talkative companions, Ninja, they call him Chatter instead of Ninja. Alpha must navigate this violent world, battling cyborg rival samurai and a powerful organization known as the MT7, all while staying true to his path of revenge. Afro Samurai is known for a unique blend of Japanese chambara, aka sword fighting, and American hip hop culture, aka rap. This series was visually striking with a gritty, stylish animation style and a dark, moody atmosphere. It featured the voice talent of the legendary Samuel L. Jackson as both Afro and Ninja, and Ron Perlman as the main antagonist Justice. The series soundtrack was produced by the RZA of the Wu-Tang Clan, adding to it a distinct fusion of genre and culture. Hmm. So, being this small introduction, what is your view concerning this project, Wally?
I mean, pretty much for me, when I look at it, I mean, because one thing that it is one of the more like very unique animes. Because one thing like I hear across the board amongst a lot of people in the anime community, especially
Mm-hmm.
on the black side, is more quote unquote decent representation of black characters in anime. Right? Because you would so more here, like, okay, for instance, right? A lot of people will respect Bleach because a lot of the black characters didn't seem like they were some ultimate like side piece, type of people. They actually had some decency of character, some decency of
Okay.
development, everything else. Where other
Okay.
black characters in there, one way or another, are perceived as just being there for a moment or so without any like real character development whatsoever. So to see an
Okay.
anime that is mainly focused on a particular black cast, or at least for the most part, and then some other future characters in the mix, some people would give this a little bit more of a nod overall, etc., etc. I mean, I always say this. I don't have that thought process. Ultimately, it's like, hey, look, you ain't the creator. If the creator don't want to add you in there, it is what it is. That is just the idea. They have no thought process of you. So, and in that sense, do you still knock an anime because you don't have your representation in it, or neither? Because honestly, if representation was the main thing, then anime itself in its totality you shouldn't even care about. If you were being honest.
Mm. No offense, you just dropped a interesting point right out the back.
Oh no, because
Very,
I
very
mean,
interesting.
cause let's think about it, right? Because if we think about it, like, okay, let's switch it off, right? Let's say if anime, like, if people started to get into anime, but before then, right? Well, what
Mm-hmm.
stopped y'all from liking comics? Because most of y'all can't sit here and say most of y'all comic books. Like, if you told me right now, the most biggest team fan base, you're neither Team Batman or your Team Superman on one side of your on DC, or neither your team, whatever of the Marvel universe.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, picking tools where you want to go with that. It's like, you know,
I'm
are we
glad you
focusing?
put out. I'm glad you put it out there because when we talk about Japanese animation, there's a good couple of animes that had black representation. You mentioned Bleach, which is totally correct. There's Fire Force, another one, very unique character, whereby they did the character good, even have a Nigerian name on top of that. I was like, I respect that. There's a lot of other anime out there that did have black characters in there. And it wasn't like they were doing some floppy character. They were doing some unique, real solid characters. They start doing the list because this is why I was shooting out, looking around for the past couple of weeks, the past couple of months, to have other anime head who want to join this type of show with us so we can have this type of dialogue. Because when you just bought that nugget right there, representation or presentation to be represented in the anime. But here where the conflict comes to play. You mentioned comic books. A lot of our folks, when it comes to fan base, don't heavily stay behind certain African American or African character hardcore like they should have. Now, besides Storm, a lot of the females, comic book lovers, stand behind her heavy. Then we have Bishop from X-Men, another OG black character. We have Static Shock. Remember, they did an anime series called Static Shock. How many seasons did that one go?
If I'm not mistaken, maybe what 2, 4 up there. Let me look.
And that was a representation of a comic book character where he was the main character of his own series.
4 seasons.
4 seasons. Okay. And most recently, they're bringing a new African American character along with a new class of Superman called Mr. Fantastic. Right? Okay. How many black people were behind War Machine, the co-star of Iron Man?
Pretty much, because no one didn't really give him a thought process. And that's my thing, is like, you can't sit here and say you want the representation, but the representation wasn't big enough. When you got the representation, you didn't really drive behind the representation when you got it.
Thank you. Now, that argument I'm going to use, I'm not trying to walk away from the show. I'll throw it even further. Representation. The ongoing unnecessary argument, comparison between the NBA and the WNBA. Right? How long will we continue to hear that argument on the social media platform? Why isn't the girl getting paid more as much as the man was getting paid? And several times over, it have been debunked clearly in their face. Draymond Green had to tell homegirl, do you know that salary coming from our pocket? You know that, right? You know, all of us NBA players, we all pitching for your freaking salary. You know that, right? You know, y'all don't sell tickets like we do. You know that, right? You know that you don't fill out sheets like we do, right?
And the funny thing is, women actually could fill out seats, though. I mean, they could. They could. The problem is, guess who's the problem that y'all can't fill out seats? Women. Because why? Because when you go to a sporting event, guess what? You really think women want their men to go see you play games? Hell no.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll be okay if they take them to an NBA game and then they can go see other men play and they'll be like, oh my God, look at Steph Curry.
Now let me go further. Yes, if they real good looking and they are 7, 8, 9, yeah, they'll go to the NBA, all right. But you hoping they can drop you and still one of them. Am I right?
Yeah, in their dreams.
Tell me if I'm right.
Yeah, in their dreams.
How would I put it? If homeboy that you come with got courtside seat, so you can see closer to the players, or you sit behind the courtside seat, you wouldn't try to do some stimulus so you can let them know, hey, you're open. Now let me flip the script. I know you, and please don't laugh too hard. Please, Wally. Actually, I'm begging you.
It all depends on what you say, sir.
Oh God, help me. How many
gotta
guys
do
do you?
something that-
I'm going to ask you. How many guys do you see trying to stay close to the WNBA? See, they can pick up a girl there.
Not much. Respectfully, I don't have time to watch it on TV.
Do you see any thirsty guy trying to say, "Hey, I'll be your number one simp at courtside"?
I mean, if you're talking about from the standpoint of highlights, then the answer is no.
Okay. Whew, I thought you were gonna laugh at it because it sounds funny in my head, but also it's a reality. Just as you see many of and you and I could say this, Phil, if you're watching a basketball game, playoff, you see a lot of chicks close to the court side seat area. You know that, right?
Yeah, especially the ones that can actually pay for it.
Pay for, or they got someone to pay for them.
I guess either which way that goes.
Yeah. So they can see they can get any of these NBA player attention. But when we flip the script, how many guys you see on the sit close to the court side to get the attention of any of the WNBA female attention? Almost
I
zero, right?
mean, most of them couldn't get their attention. If you 5 something, you ain't getting shit.
It is true that they were
That's just the
kind of like come
reality
off
right
a little
there.
then they're coming out a little kind of mannish when they're playing. They feel like, oh, they're not trying to be feminine, except for Reese.
I mean, they are being focused, so.
So
Hey.
you did not same logic when this Afro Samurai came into existence. That's the first thing that came to my mind. Why were you pushing hard for this, knowing that you're not gonna put for a much bigger expansion on this? This was a 5-episode TV anime series. 5, not 12, which is the average now for a season.
Usually is the average.
Not
Some
24,
things
25,
24.
not 20, not 24, 25, 22 for a good, solid one season with just 5. Come on. I'm not shitting on the project. There's something about this project that it's not rubbing me the wrong way.
But it's rubbing you the wrong way.
No, it's rubbing me in a very weird way. It was almost similar to the WNBA scenario. You're fighting for representation, but when you have it, you don't go behind it hard. Not safe to say?
I mean, I don't know what the creator's mindset was. Granted, I mean, because one, this is an independent. You got to think about it. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Afro Samurai was an independent project, so that's one. So if it's an independent project already, that's already hitting your mind frame of how far you really can take it for the time being. I mean, any considerations? So, I mean, right now, like, if the creator right now were to sit here and say, should I come back to this, bring it out, reflesh it out, give it a revamp, and really extend this even further? I mean, honestly, I ain't gonna lie to you. If Afro Samurai were to get a redo and be with more extensive storyline, I wouldn't be surprised. I would hope that it comes out that way. Because honestly, there's more I want to say, but I mean, I'm gonna save it because, of course, we got questions attached to this.
I'm glad you have questions. I'm glad you had that thought because I was thinking the same exact thing you were thinking. Because we talk about all these other shows that we talk about, if they could have done it better, or they could have extended a little bit further, or they could have flushed out a better idea. Because you know what's independent? You had Gonzo, one of the popular anime production company out there, that helped produce this, and they released it on Spike TV. 2007. Not Cartoon Network.
Definitely.
Not Max, not HBO, but Spike. It was very interesting. Interesting choice on network.
I
Unless
think that was the smartest choice of network that they did.
okay.
Because
So
honestly, because think about it, we always be talking about this, right? The idea of the thought process when they choose animes. Because honestly, right now, with the fact that the creator choosing Spike TV, I don't know what the deal or the wraparound was, but I would be very interested to know what was the idea playing around. Okay, well, we're not going to take this to Cartoon Network / Toonami. We're going to take this to Spike TV. Because honestly, when you sit there and think about that, first thing that comes to mind was like, well, one thing's for sure, we escaped the idea of being censored legitimately. Like, you escape the idea of being censored. Because the one thing that you always hear every single time of anime is we got the quote unquote washed down version of what would originally be said in these animes if we were on the other side of the cesspool.
and remember we talked about certain anime would have got canceled 10 times over, aka Berserk.
And so much more.
That would have been on HBO. No, between HBO or cinema. What do you think do that show Berserk at?
I mean, shoot, if Spike was able to get Afro Samurai, they should put it on. They should put there too. Just put it there.
Yeah, but Berserk was a heavy hitter. You had to put that behind HBO. HBO, you can't censor HBO like that.
I mean, you could have censored Spike either. All you gotta do is get a late night moment.
There
Just get
you
a late
go.
night spot. Like that. I mean, that's the thing. Like, just imagine being able to see Berserk and all these other things on like 8 o'clock and down. And you already know Spike is only for the adults anyway. So it's like that's already letting you know, like come on.
Yeah. Yeah, but what Berserk was doing, it was it was touchy. But besides Berserk was doing that, another anime was doing something close to Berserk was Ninja Scroll. The movie. See? You don't remember it. I remember it. There's certain scene I was like, "Nigga," I was like, whoa. You're doing it, you're going too far. But people don't know this though. There was animes that if parents knew what we were watching, and they call it cartoon. You know how parents you watching cartoon, there's nothing big about it. But only if they knew what we were watching, what would have happened to us? What the? They would have been just like they did with the gangster rap protesting, censor gangster rap, they would have censor anime. Everyone have gone to the counterculture much earlier than everybody else.
Man, they better go censor their livelihoods.
Bingo. That's why we're trying to tell people for years, decades. Anime is not always for kids. Let's get that crystal clear. It's not been for kids at all.
Unless it's Pokemon. I mean, there's Pokemon. What else is there? Another one. There's another classical anime. That little mini bot where you put that little coin in the slot.
Metabot.
Yeah, you know.
Pokemon, Metabot, Sailor Moon was for the kids.
Disrespecting Sailor Moon again. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you.
This is why I say we need a female host, because it's hard not to hold back part of you. I want to go. Now when you have a female host, she can like, okay, Black David, chill out. We here. Stop it. When you have a female host,
So shameful. So shameful.
Hey, if I'm looking for a black host, I don't care. If any female host, you be black, white, as long as you like anime and you can deal with my bias on certain female anime I mean I like to watch. And
Even though notice one thing though, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand this. He has a bias against Sailor Moon, but he doesn't have a bias towards Kill a Kill. Lord have mercy. Make this understandable.
Say it again.
You have a bias towards Sailor Moon, but you don't have a bias towards Kill a Kill. Exactly. Shame on you.
But Kill a Kill is more action packed. Sailor Moon is more lame.
Excuses. All you have is excuses. Next thing you're gonna tell me is, I don't watch the side of the romance side of the novels of anime either because it's too romantic. Whatever.
I avoid that. That's just like.
I just really throw that in there just to throw that in there.
You try to put me in a break. Take a break from this show for like you gonna give me Scar.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I'm talking about. How can we have it? This is not an anime show. This is an anime action show. That's what he really wants to say. This is
why I ask for other hosts. No, this is why I suggest to have other anime hosts to be a part of this.
Yes, to take the burden and the nightmares and the terrors that he goes to sleep with, knowing that he would have to watch those damn things. So he's like, look, hey, these are for you. You go watch these and you go give the review so I don't have to. I mean, shame on you, sir. Shame on you.
I'm just being hold on.
Ladies and gentlemen. Stop.
This anime community, we very selective.
He's very selective. You ain't throwing me in the trap with you, sir. Sorry.
Anyway, that's my Wally, aka I got the receipt, aka the petty debater.
Wait, T, what?
The petty debater. You let it slide.
Apparently.
Overview. The creator is Takashi Okazaki, which is funny. He's the artist behind the creation. Yo, Jay Kakashi. What's up? Jay? If you want to come up, I can drop you the link. Because
he did wanted to come through, so.
Because I'm trying to not shade this anime, but there's a lot of questions about this anime. Not trying to be shady, but I'm not what it is. Takashi Okazaki, he created anime. I was thinking, so you might have a manga for this thing, right? It said first appearance originally was a self-published donjishi, an independent manga. You were correct with independent. In the late 1990s.
It wasn't in the big popular manga groups.
Like the Shonen, the Isekai, and all the other ones, right?
This was a solo project.
That's the thing about it. Okay, fine. Independent manga in the late 1990s, inspired by Okazaki, love for hip-hop culture, soul music, and samurai film. Let's be real, though. Japanese culture has changed tremendously. They are beyond heavily influenced by not only by hip-hop, not only by rap, but by pop.
Now, I ain't gonna lie, the pop musical scene out there is very high up over there.
High? At first, it was the hip-hop that were taking hold of it, right? Then the soul music, it was there. But right now, pop kind of like pushed both of the two titles down. And he created a new genre for K-pop. I didn't hear no K-hip-hop or K-soul. But this K-pop thing is way worse than a virus. Imagine they got a Japanese animation based on a K-pop group that was on Netflix that is now going into the movie theater for one time only. It was so popular because they found out they had so much views behind it. So much. They actually want to put it in the movie theater so you can give you a full movie theater view of how it feels to watch. Interesting. It was supposed to be a sing along kind of thing. You know, fan, I'm not going there. This is more dangerous than going to go to the theater to watch Barney. You can shake your hell you want, but that's how I feel. We'll talk.
Yeah.
But the fact that those three genres hit the Asian community so heavy, that's seeing more and more anime production with a little twist of this, either hip hop, soul, or pop. Influence. Make traditional Japanese samurai essentially with African American hip hop culture. Groundhouse ultra violence. I can't call it groundhouse ultra violence. I think that's a category we need to start talking about later on. But what anime that you consider to be a grindhouse ultra violent? Because there's a lot. That the violence is kind of like seriously. And cyberpunk futurism. Publisher manga is New How. 2000 later published by English by Tor Book and 7C Entertainment. Now, I'll be honest with you. I thought there would be a game after this for Afro Samurai.
There was a game.
It was?
Yes.
Wow, I didn't
There's
know
two of
about
them,
that.
actually.
Hmm.
Yeah, there was one for the PlayStation 3, and then there was one, PlayStation 3 and Xbox, and then there was another one that was featuring, I think, the movie story. The first one was, I think it was the 5 episodes it featured, and then the second game was the movie story.
Interesting. I didn't even realize that. I never got a chance to play it. Plot twist. Story center on Afro, a black samurai warrior seeking vengeance for the murder of his father. In this world, there are two mythical headbands. Number one headband, grant godlike power. The wearer is the strongest warrior alive. I had an issue with that type of thinking. Number two headband, the only person allowed to challenge number one, but anyone can challenge number two, meaning endless bloodshed. So you wear the number one headband. It grants you godlike power. Number two, the only ability you had to put a bullseye on your back every day.
While allowing you to challenge number one.
Yeah, it allows you to challenge number one, but at the same token, it's like saying, I got the number two, you give me a pass to challenge number one. But at the same token, it put a bullseye on my back. Anyone can challenge me in my sleep.
I mean, that's the life. I mean, when you're on the rankings, anyone wants to come and challenge you.
Yeah, but wait, it was being described. First came them out, so that being, I can't sleep. I can't have a nice show. God forbid, I'm taking a dump. I challenge me on challenge my number two. Which one is it? Like seriously, the way that anime was making it look like everybody coming out from all kind of woodwork, like, yo, coming for your head. You gonna get that number? Like seriously, they were desperate.
Well, read this passage because I'm gonna give you some questions to answer.
Don't worry. Afro's father, the number one, is killed by a warrior named Justice, wielding a revolver and wearing the number two. Afro inherited the number two, but here's the thing. He went the number two, then he took the number one, gave the number two down to the far light. Yo. Now you're number two, but you're dead. Afro inherited the number two, grew up obsessed with vengeance, cutting down anyone in his way to reach justice. The story explored Afro's descent into obsession, weight of revenge, and the blurred line between hero and monster. Interesting.
Well,
If you and I have watched a lot of Japanese animation, concerning samurai and ninja and everything. It is safe to say there was not certain as a hero at all.
What's that again?
If you and I who can be consistent here, we have watched a lot of Japanese animation concerning samurai and ninja. It's safe to say almost every plot you have watched and seen, there's no such thing as a hero. It's always about who the supposed to be the righteous fighter or looking for the word.
Noble
It's not main character, but
protagonist. Antagonist.
I can't call it protagonist because when it comes to ninjas and samurai, you know, these sword fights, they don't protagonist or hero doesn't stick too well. It's
Oh,
another
you talking
name.
about vigilante?
Someone who will be the vigilante or someone who will be that.
Anomaly.
Something like that.
Uh,
Because I watch a lot of Japanese animation that concerning samurai. You have Samurai Chipolo. You have Samurai 7. You have Ninja Scroll. Hmm. There's so many anime that have ridiculous swordplay, especially when it comes to samurai and ninjutsu. And the way the fight here was going, it was like, yeah, one in particular, Roman of Earth, trying to be the number one swordsman. I go to the realm whereby y'all slicing anything now. You slicing tree, that's slicing stone, that's slicing iron, that's slicing pillars. Like seriously. And on the top of that, in most of these anime, there's a sacred sword or there's an enchanted sword that's more like a demon. Shout out to Zoro. You trying to collect all three, like Pokemon. And all of a sudden, one of them trying to suck your damn, your hockey, yeah, everything. So you got to control, like, yo, what's up? Now, I'm looking, that's a spoiler alert for those who ever watched One Piece. He, he now find out that his bloodline is connected to the land of Wino, the land of the samurais. He had some enchanted sword. One of the sword considered to be be the sword of hell, or the demon king, so to speak. If you're not strong, you don't have a strong will, the sword will possess you. Sound familiar? With one particular
yeah.
anime?
Well, okay. What anime were you thinking? Because I wasn't thinking about an anime, but okay.
I was thinking JoJo Bizarre Adventure, that one sword that had a stance. If you're not careful, if you hold that sword, the stance control you. You become a zombie for that sword. That's one in particular.
I gotta remember that one.
There's another anime, I forgot what it was.
I mean, I was thinking more like, you know, what is that?
Muamate, the name of that
No, the medieval days, like the Black Knight or something like that. One had one of those curse swords.
bingo. It's something like that. This is why when come, I think they need to rename that particular genre come to anime with dealing with samurai and ninja because it's uniquely by itself. A lot of those anime have great storylines. Shout out to Rurouni Kenshin, Samurai X. Whew. Brutality that come out of it, the philosophy that comes out of it. Fight scene. You would think that this man put a got head taken off a long time ago. Somehow, he just died at the nick of time. That's what's going on with this anime. This anime, only 5 episodes. It could have been done better. They could have had at least what? I don't know.
I wasn't ready yet.
12, 16 episodes.
Well, there's one thing I want to ask you a question now, because remember, we didn't
Okay,
get
go ahead.
So, let's start this off here, right? So, one thing I want to ask you is, to our viewers, especially for those that don't know of Afro Samurai, have never watched it, what is the significance of the number one and the number two headband in the world of Afro Samurai, and how do they drive the conflict, central conflict of the show? Sorry about that.
The way the show was set up, but I had a issue with it. And during that futuristic time, there were two handbands that were heavily significant in that era of samurai fight as who is the strongest. Number one band was almost like, how I want to put it. It was giving a handicap who was considered to be the more powerful warrior, whereby it adds extra to what you already have already. Meaning, whoever who had to defeat you had to have something that surpassed your level of ability, regardless that you have a handicap, and they'll beat you behind. That's like a proof of saying he earned the right to be number one. That was the cycle of that number one band was meant for. And the way it was set up, no one can challenge you unless they had the number two headband. Number two headband was like a clutch. It signified you are the second strongest, but also signifies, even though you're the second strongest, it doesn't mean you can't be taken out. It had an unlimited amount of bounty set on your head. That's exactly what it was. But what was going on is that the dude thought it was the number one. He was a bad dude.
Right.
And that bandana, the number one headband, it was given a lot of advantages that somehow the way he looked was very contradicting, but it was a hidden plot behind. That's how that thing was set up with the whole hierarchy with the number one band and number two band. And during the fight scene, he was fighting, doing all, slicing, boiling in half. He was powering, he was fighting people, while AKA Ninja, more like chata. He chat too damn much. But just constantly running him out, dodging everything like it was nothing. But I don't want to fight. That's how that thing come out to be. So to him, man.
All right. Well, for me, so let me answer my own question. What is the significance of the number one and the number two headbands in the world of Afro Samurai, and how do they drive the central conflict? Well, so pretty much in this diagram right here that we have for you guys in the presentation, it already let you know number one headband grants you godlike powers. And of course, it significates you being the strongest warrior. Whereas number two is the only one that can able to challenge number one, but anyone can challenge number two to endless bloodshed no matter what, meaning you're open season for anybody. But the thing is, honestly, here's the hard thing I want to tell anybody that's new to Afro Samurai and would consider watching it. There's a lot of things that are so misleading with the number one and the number two headbands is because of, well, one, if number one is gifted godlike abilities, what is the godlike abilities like? Now, in some cases, when you see this anime, one of the many things that you will notice is like in certain characters, like for instance, Afro's father, he was seen like with red eyes. And as you already know, right, in Japan, right, if you know their national flag is like the red sun. And you can tell like it's sort of like the same thing, like their eyes are like red suns in that sense. Like you're pretty much in an epiphany of a god in that sense at that moment, right? But when you're gifted godlike powers, you'd have to sit here and ask yourself, well, godlike or demigod? Because apparently, if you got godlike powers, you couldn't be killed like that. Let's just get that straight. So it was just very wonky. Two, why were they only these 1 and 2 bands? Why were there not more? A lot of things you would consider in this anime across the board, because to say that there's only 1 and 2 and only 2 only have the access to number 1, I mean, it sort of makes it seems like, well, why did no one else have the access to number 1? You would have to question that logic. And so there's a lot of things. But if you're wondering why, like, this is the consistent vocal point, like the center vocal point, I think honestly, when you always think about a true battle, right? You always want the best of the best going against each other. And I think one, at the time of Afro losing his father, of course, he was not wielded of a sword at this point in time. So of course he was someone that has to build to it. The problem is that there's also another issue to Afro Samurai is you never seen Afro build himself up to even get the number 2 headband. He just gifted it like out of thin air. Like, oh, okay, here, kid. Here's number 2 headband. Find me when you get bigger. Huh? And then another pain point of this that you'll somewhat ask yourself is, how did you let a gunslinger defeat you when you have a sword? Where in most cases, you see most samurais be able to, literally knock off or slice in half a bullet. You sort of question the logic behind a gunslinger versus a samurai, and then how you let a gunslinger beat a samurai, and which is, again, very, very, very conflictable when you think about this anime in a grand scheme of things. It's very tough. Granted, not saying that I did not love this anime. I did. But there has to be some harsh truths of some punching to the face. Because honestly, you do sit here and you look at this and you be like, why? Jay, the link should be in the chat, man. If it's not, you should be able to see it. I hope the link went to both pages. But yeah.
Jake, I got you. It's in the main YouTube chat. I think you're on our pair one. I think I gotta go to the Spot EQ network and pick the link from there. Because you were there.
Oh, I thought you was shooting from both sides. So I thought it should.
He might be on my YouTube channel on my side.
Yeah, I thought it worked both sides.
I was thinking it will do the same thing, but I think that's something
hold on.
We should have to work on. That's something I have to look at.
Hold on, I'm about to get to him right now. Hold on.
Okay.
All right, Jay, look at your IG, man.
I'm about to drop it in my side. In a second.
All right.
Yeah, I dropped it on my side, so you should be able to see it from there.
All right, but to go back to it, yeah, I mean, but ultimately, yeah, the center vocal point to the band, one is the significance of the back history. Of course, number 1 band was originally given to the father. 2, the also significance is, of course, the newest number 1 took his father's life, took Afro's father's life. At the same time, again, having number 1 and number 2 going against each other is just a battle of who is the best within the world that Afro Samurai is in. So yeah, the typical fight scenes as overall. But one thing for sure, there could have been so much. There could have been so much done to this, like literally, because again, just to have just 2 headbands.
Thank you. And I'm glad you expound on that, because this is why I said that something was done cheap about it. Never have seen a bunch of Japanese animation concerning samurai, and the old number 1, number 2 handbag will never fit in. It'll be something like an enchanted sword only a particular person who was qualified to wield it. Not it's not like Excalibur.
Right, but the thing is, what's so hardening about it? Okay, number one, it gives you godlike powers, but the thing is, what were the godlike powers? I mean,
Warning Warrior. They're doing a reboot, right? That's a Japanese animation based on samurai. They have done some ancient armor with ancient weapon, right? They have unique power and feet. Remember, I mentioned also Zoro had an ancient sword that not any swordman can hold on to that sword. You don't have the strength. You know how you say the sword or the katana shoot his own master? You're not a rightful master. That sword devour you. Let's put it like that. That make an interesting plot. Not just anyone can just step into I'm number one. No. That sword, they say, I forgot what animal was it. They say that sword took someone's blood, someone's body. It have its own soul of its own. No, your sword is not stronger than the soul in that sword.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
No. I was gonna because I got the clarification. So pretty much number one to a lot of people will be a god, meaning he couldn't die against anybody else. You can't hunt down number one. The only thing is number two is the Achilles heels to number one, where he at that point cannot be a god. So anything number two does to number one is just fair game. But anything that you do to number one, as far as not being number two, you ain't doing jack. You ain't doing jack piss. Can't hear you. Turn off. David, your volume.
Volume?
Not you. I'm talking about David.
I got my muted by accident.
Okay.
My bad. Jay Kakashi, long time no see.
Yeah, guys, can you guys hear me? Do I sound all right?
You're good.
You're good.
Yeah, I got you connected to my car right now. So, yeah, I'm just getting off work. I wanted to, first of all, shout out to both of you. I ain't talked to Black David in what seems like a century. Wally, I recently got back to talking with. Like I said, been dealing with family stuff. But to talk about Afro Samurai, I just want to say a couple things. First of all, to address what Wally said about the headbands, I want to say something. So the reason why there's not countless more is because that was what the creator has set it on. He wasn't trying to expand this whole thing of like headband lore. All you know is that there has to be a 1 and a 2, and for you to even challenge the number one guy, you have to have number 2. Anybody like no random dude can just come up onto you and actually challenge you. You're the best. That's how it is. That's like the Elite Four. You need to be able to. I don't think you actually need all the badges to be the Elite Four, but personally, you have to. But through the game,
you need all the badges.
Of any Pokemon, you need all the badges. I'm talking about game, not the anime. Screw the anime because they don't follow game correctly.
Yeah, anime is different.
You need all the badges. Once you beat all of them, then you get a chance to challenge the Elite Four. Like that's the prerequisite. That's it. So and then after you beat all 4, you got to go against the champion. He's numero uno. So I should have said that actually, because the champion is above all of them. They're still strong. They're still tough and strong, but you have to go through them to get to the champion, dude. And once you beat him, you become number 1 in that region.
Right, but real quick. Go ahead. I want to hear. Right? Yeah. No, but I'm saying by that comparison, right? This is what I'm saying. Just by having just 1 and 2 of the headbands is like, again, why not just have a rank? I mean, granted, it's the wild. I mean, granted, in Afro Samurai's world, it's a wild, wild west, right? You may as well say you may as well add some Western type vibes to it because it's the Wild Wild West. Anyone can take out anybody in any given moment for how fast paced this anime is. But for a lot of also intricate things that were in it, which we'll eventually expand on soon enough, you would think this would be more than 5 fucking episodes.
Well, it's total 6 episodes, and then like I said, I think the creators, to me, this was just something they wanted to make. I don't think there was any too much deep thought into this, honestly. I think they were trying to keep it simple. And yes, there are some things that are like, I can understand if you, I'm going to say this, I can see if this was like a deep if this was a deep complex series, then there's like, okay, I can see what made this, what made that. I think, I'll be honest, I think it's one of the more simpler ones to understand. Like, for anybody who wants to get into anime, it's like very straightforward. There's no deep, complex thing about it, at least in my opinion. Which,
really?
Like I say, no, because here's why. If you're going complexity, I can literally, like, Mythical Detective Loki is complex, but it's a fun time, and I can freak out because for that series. I'm giving you an example. The underlying plot is that this kid gets sent down. What you don't know is the complexities of the world that they're in, and also of them being stripped of their power while they're like in little kid bodies, and then they have to find a way to get back to it's not heaven, but back to there's a word for it, but I'm trying to remember. But back to the realm of the gods, similar to Greek mythology, and then the underlying plot of characters coming in being introduced. Like I said, you get subplots with that. With Afro Samurai, it's very simple. It's just okay. There was this okay. My dad had the number one. He was number one at one point. Then he got killed by this dude when I was a boy, right in front of this cat who had guns. Okay, now my sole thing is to kill this dude who killed my dad and claim the number 1 headband against him. I had to get number 2 though, because somebody else had it. So it's very straightforward. And when they introduce like the dudes of these bald-headed. I'm gonna say it because I'm bald, but but my head ain't shaped like a peanut. So that's the difference. Like these peanut-shaped freaking monks or some shit, and then it turns out they're an organization that's trying to like kill Afro Samurai. Like, dude, like it's the most random of the random. Let's keep it real. They just came out of nowhere. Literally, they were just there. Is what they're trying to make it seem. And then. He beats a clone version that they made of himself, and he like a robot. My bad, a robot clone. There we go, robot clone. And then, which by the way, it was entertaining, but it's like this thing had nukes and shit. It was hilarious. Like, dude, you're not supposed to take any of that shit seriously. You're supposed to just laugh and just have a good to me, it's like it's like the fun adventure route of like feudal. Samurai. Like, we're here for the journey and the adventure, but this is comedy. A little bit. Like there's a lot of comedy in this of him slicing a bullet and then killing the dudes behind him when he splits the bullet. We're laughing at that because it's like a samurai trope. Like, are you faster than a bullet? Can you cut the bullet and things? Like, it's literally like that's why I say it's nothing like it's not Hunter x Hunter. Like, this is something like Hunter x Hunter is complex. Like deep lore, complex systems, power-ups, how abilities works. Like you get that with Hunter x Hunter. You don't get that with Afro Samurai. Now Wally, you said you don't think it's. I mean, well, you didn't say you think. You said really when I said that. I want to hear why you think it is deep and complex.
I don't think so. You really took a deep dive into this anime the way I think you did.
So what?
I don't think so. You took a deep dive into this anime the way I think you did. I mean, for you just said it was just straightforward action and just comedy. I think you wasn't really paying attention to the actual nuance, this small tidbit of an anime, it is really gay in a small section. Because funny enough, okay, for instance, Ninja, you know that wasn't a real person, right?
Yeah, that was a figment. Yeah, that was a figment of his imagination.
Right. So again, there is concept behind why that is.
Yeah, and but people but it's like a fun. I don't think it's a complex thing. I think it's like a fun little thing to think about. Like, is he really real, or is he
stick around
or
and
is he,
listen to the conversation?
or is he part of Afro's? Honestly, I would say part of his trauma. To keep it real with you, is what I would say.
Well,
that's what I was.
Well,
because like I said, he created him, but he's just there like making jokes and shit. Like I said, for example, there's unless that thing is telling him like being his conscious, like his Jiminy Cricket, he was never that. That's what I'm saying. Like I said, I wager Pinocchio had more complexity because he has a cricket literally giving him advice. Even though he's a kid, it's still a layer of complexity for the character because that character is alive, is a wooden puppet alive and trying to know what it means to be a real boy. Afro is going around literally killing. Well, anybody who kills him, he kills them. He's like I said, he has a straightforward goal, and Ninja is not giving him advice. He's not his consciousness, or giving him good advice or something. He's there to be Samuel L. Jackson's whipping boy of saying nigga, mother effer, all this shit. Like, dude, that's why I said there's no complex. No. What is he adding? Nothing but hilarious what Samuel L. Jackson does. And by the way, I want to say something. That's not a knock on the character. I'm like, that motherfucker's funny to me. He's literally being funny. The fact that it's Samuel L. Jackson, I can laugh at it.
And that's the thing I was looking at because the whole time, don't get me wrong, that ninja character at one point would get on my nerve. I was like,
right? He used to be annoying.
I say, you should change his name from Ninja to Chatter. He chat too goddamn much. Like, I'm like, you're like, you're like, I was like.
And that's what I'm saying. So that should tell you right there with that character that we're not meant to take any of this like seriously. Come on, we're
not using racial term. You're not using racial term. Let me explain to you, Peter. This production at this time. Remember we said earlier in the show, we would talk about representation of the black community within anime. There was a push back in 2007. There was when I heard it on the newsway, they were doing this thing. I was like, okay, what do we need this for? Because this is keyword Japanese animation. Hello, Japanese. It didn't say.
I mean, I hope you know he wasn't talking about that. He was talking about the you know what word.
I know you're talking about what. Now I'm playing about the content you're having. It's pertaining this show. We're not being racial about it, but you point out the obvious about it.
Well, we're not. Of course, we're not being racial, but he don't want the word to be said.
I know. I get it because of YouTube algorithm. I understand.
Well, yeah, and it's channel rules.
My apologies.
All right. What we were saying about this show, because this is why I had an issue with this production when it first came out, because first thing came to my mind. You're having somebody want to produce something in a genre that is not relatable to them. We have cartoon that's relatable to the United States, right?
American Dad and freaking Family Guy.
Bingo.
Or adult. Well, they're the adult like satire cartoons and parodies.
Bingo. Then
South Park 2. South Park, my bad. Yeah, that's
and Japanese animation was completely different from cartoon, miles ahead, century ahead. But the thing is, when people will talk about representation within the Japanese animation genre, there have been a good couple of black characterization in anime. While I mentioned Bleach, I mentioned Fire Force.
Fire Force. Oh, dude, I gotta watch season 3. Yeah, Fire Force is one of them.
There's many other anime that have black characters in the production. And the character wasn't no lame character. It was legit, was worthy of it. But when they did this, right? And you see, we discussed about the number one, number two band, and you see how Jake got the point that it was straightforward. There was no complexity. When we watch Japanese animation, there is a plot twist. Let's be real here. Number one, there is a level of complexity in the storyline. That is number two. Number three, the storyline and the plot have to make the level of sense whereby it is required to have a played out storyline. It's not supposed to be so straightforward that you can tell this is not going to last long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's be honest here. I'm not trying to be shady around here, but this is something that's always been in my mind for years. Like, why did this thing come out? Now, if I want to be shady, let me be shady. The last 5 or 10 Comic Con, how many people dressed up to be Afro Samurai?
I mean, who would?
If I want to call it out like that, if you have been to anybody who have watching this show right now, or who are going to watch it later on, if you have been to the Comic Con or any of the event they have out there in the past 5 or 10 years, how many people do you see dressed? How many people do you see dressed up as Afro Samurai at these events?
I can answer that. They mostly just, I don't see them really dressed as Afro Samurai. Like I said, I may have seen one, if anything. But, like, if anything, it's not, like I said, because it's not as popular, I'll say this. Like, it's known, but it's like, I'm saying, like, if you're, like, if you're black, it really applies to you more so to cosplay that character, for example. Like, I think for me, it gave like another black character for you can that was cool that you could like dress up as if you had an afro, and also the afro is a style literally. So yes, you could cosplay as that character, but you won't see so many because it's not as popular in merchandise. And some people this merchandising goes into a series as well, like Digimon or Pokemon, like what you guys had a discussion before, where it's like you'll get people dressed up as Misty, Ash, Brock, or Silver, or the game characters, or the manga characters. Actually, you know what's so funny about that? And people will know who you're cosplaying as by the color and the design. With Afro, it's literally like, okay, 6 episodes and we got the movie, and it wasn't like a long running series. So that's another thing. Like I said, no, I see more black dudes. I see more people who look like me do Naruto, Bleach, things like that. Like literally, because they're more known, they're more popularized, and they have like a market and a merchandising brand to like push out and get out. You know what I'm saying? Push out more products to them and let it become localized. That's the word I meant to use earlier. I'm sorry. I meant
the thing is, Naruto had a plot twist and had multiple layers of complexity.
It's long going, for damn sure. So, I mean, like I said, even with just even when part one, before the time skip, it was already popular at that point because all they had was like 134 episodes the first time. Before, when they were still like kids. So everybody and their mama in my middle school to high school knew what the freak that was. So, and I'm like, everybody wanted to play the games when they was on GameCube and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So it was well known. And like, how could you not? Toonami had that shit. So I wanted to, so like I said, whenever like I said, it gets a chance to be seen a lot, you see it. I'll keep it real with you. I didn't know about Afro Samurai until it was like when I was in high school, like in the middle of high school, because it was on Sci-Fi Channel. It was either on G4 or Sci-Fi.
It was first aired on Spike TV in 2007.
Spike, that's what it was. Sorry, y'all. I fucked up. I'm sorry. Spike TV. Spike. I'm trying to go back to my memory, the channels that showed anime. Oh, and that's another thing. On channels anime was being shown is another reason of how it is a form of popularity. Like is what I'm saying. So G4 they had anime. I didn't know about that at the time.
Thank you. I'm glad you mentioned it. The real name of that channel was G4 TV before they changed to Spike.
Yeah, G4 TV was made for games and promoting certain animes you didn't know about. I'm talking about the old ones. Like Ninja Scroll was on that bitch at that point in time. And
somehow they bought
Mega
the
Man 2,
network and they changed the name to Spike TV. I had an
Spike
issue.
TV. Yeah.
I had an issue when they changed the name from G4 TV to Spike TV. I was like, what are you trying to do? But G4 TV was popular. Yes, we watched a lot of anime on that particular network. And when they reverted to Spike TV, a lot of anime were being pushed out from that network. But they went from being a geek, gamer-like type of network into a guy-like. Spike TV was meant for the guys. Adult man, but for the guy kind of thing. So they were pushing out, geeked them out. They didn't want to have to do it with nerd, with geek, with anime. It felt like, Afro Samurai, it seemed like, okay, we can do this. It can be like an adult. And I'm glad you mentioned it, Peter. Yes, G4 had some great anime back in the day. It did.
Shout out to Sparta. Yeah, G4 has some. And dude, you know what's so funny? When I was in I think I was in high school. And guys, by the way, when I first discovered anime on the cable, there was 2 times. I think it was when I had Dish the first time when I was younger, and then when I moved from Dish to Time Warner when it was called Spectrum now, they had cutting edge anime. And I promise you, there were so many animes that I didn't know about. There was oh my god, Battlestar Angel. That's one of them. That was Gene King of the Bandits. What we had? Mythical Detective Loki, Ragnarok. Like they were promoting different ones. And by the way, Tower of Babel. Tower of Babel too. That's one of my favorites. That's an old one. And that looks good for its time. It's like a 2000 anime, but I can tell it was from an old manga, and they animated that. And it's just like, so, yeah. I had to, and then when I was told, because like I said, I think I was a sophomore at this time, and then because I was getting ready to transition to being a junior in high school, someone said, "Jay, G4 had anime, bro. You gotta go check that shit out." And I was like, "Wait, they did?" And I'm like, I had to go back and I had to go back and see what I had to look it online and what they had. And I was like, oh, these are the shows? And I saw maybe 3 that wasn't on that channel. And I was like, okay, Ninja Scroll, I saw that one. Basketball was on there. And I'm like, okay. So there's Ant-Man, there was freaking, like I said, Mega Man, there were it was a bunch of different, it was a whole different list. So that's what I'm saying. So if it's not widely, like I said, localized and playing on multiple channels, it doesn't play on every channel, but the 2 different channels, you're not gonna know it.
And here's the thing.
Like older anime got more push, and that's what I'm gonna say.
But here's the thing. The moment they changed the name from G4 TV to Spike, how often do you see anime on Spike TV?
Yeah, I think they were gonna change it to a metropolitan channel. I think at one point, if I'm not mistaken.
So all the anime that used to be on G4 TV, they migrated it to Cartoon Network on the Toonami side of things. So Toonami was still going strong. Or they go to something to the adult.
And they had
channel,
Adult Swim at the time too. So yeah.
There you go. Adult Swim was also part of that. Or they go to adult version like HBO, Cinemax, because some anime, like we said, it come with adult themes. And just like I was mentioning Berserk was beyond demented, dark, and everything without being canceled.
Yeah, demented.
Come on. Meanwhile, we were telling if no one who was saying it in present time, that anime would have been canceled 10 times over.
Yeah, Black David, I do want to point out there was another channel I discovered when I was in high school. I was sophomore at this time. It was the IST channel. They had it was the IST channel. And I can't remember what it was, but I think that channel did documentaries on they would do it every Friday night. Around it wouldn't be 10 if I'm not mistaken. I think the lineup was around 11, 11:30, 12, and 12:30. They would have because Gunslinger Girl, Witchblade, Basilisk, and then Samurai X.
Swordplay was an adult anime. It was not meant to watch on Cartoon Network.
Yeah. And guess what? Those are all mature animes, and I think, and I was wondering why, because remember, I discovered Gunslinger Girl that way. The first season, of course, and I was like, because every Friday I would look forward to watching that because I was watching the anime. I think they had they're on episode 4, so I had to go online and then watch the first 3, and then I caught up to when because I wanted I could record it and record the episode if I missed it, and so I cut up just like that. So that's how I caught up to those animes. And Basilisk was a mature, literally like R18 plus ninja anime that had literally had sex, freaking bloody gore, kills, ninjas killing each other, two ninja clans.
I remember the channel IFT. But here's the thing: you mentioned they have adult themed anime on their side. They were supposed to be adult themed.
The mature shit, yeah.
They were for the mature anime, but it was only on Spike by itself, not with IFT at all. That's the thing you don't look at. Because I know why they had its own angle on this show. My own angle was you were trying to create a African American anime where the African American character is the main character. You could have a much complex storyline for that not only increased sales. You and I all know this way when it comes to anime, there's a lot of merchandise that's tied to this. Also got a huge lot of merchandise. Don't know the king of merchandise in any anime will be Pokemon. Pokemon for some reason kills the market more than any other anime because their merch goes way beyond what you can imagine. But when it comes to Afro Samurai, when you did this one, yes, it was independent, but I can't call it fully independent and it wasn't part of no genre whatsoever. You have a well-known production called Gonzo who supported it. You only did 5 or 6 episodes and 1 movie. And they want to be based on historical fact that there was actually a black samurai, which they did one in particular was on Netflix called Yasuke.
Yeah. I remember that one.
Bingo.
Yeah.
So my thing is, looking at Afro Samurai right now, as it is, there's a lot of question mark. Why push out a product that after a while you're going to abandon it?
I would have said this. They could have, if they were serious about making their own story and things like that, it could have been extended to maybe 20, I don't want to make it that long. Maybe 18 episodes, make it a little bit longer, and then actually have a full-on decent story with it. Like I said, I think it's fine for what it was. I think, to me, actually, Afro Samurai is one of those, okay, we need something to get people into anime. That's one of the things we can get into, something like that. And it's something satire, a little bit of parody, a little bit of funny, and it worked for most people. Like I said, most people I know did get into anime when they saw Afro Samurai. There were some people I know that did that, and that's because either they saw Samurai Jack or they saw that, and then it's okay, let's do that. But Samurai Jack, let's keep it real. Samurai Jack has seasons. But that's because they like the whole samurai thing, and a couple of my buddies.
But the thing is, Samurai Jack looked more simpler than that of Afro Samurai. Am I correct?
Yeah, Jack has the whole story of Samurai Jack is literally you get a full on story. You get seasons to that shit, and don't forget it took us forever to get the final season to that. Which, by the way, I love. And the writer what was it? The creator of Samurai Jack, I forget the guy that does. He created some other series that we have already seen, but there was one that he made that. God damn it! Don't even know the damn name of it, but it came out last year. And his art, his style of animation and art, is what drew people in. Because remember, it's simple. It's not the traditional the face how they make it. No, it's literally square, straight nose, a line for the mouth, and that's pretty much it. And then we'll give you some.
I'm glad you pointed that out. I'm glad you pointed that out because I had.
But still good. Yeah.
Samurai Jack was very simple, very straightforward. Just like Afro Samurai was very simple, very straightforward. Somehow, the straightforward series called Samurai Jack has multiple seasons. It was racketing merchandise. It was racketing sales. Its production was nowhere near Afro Samurai. Am I correct? And you have a legendary actor doing the voiceover, none other than
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson. That's why it got me questioning the validity of this product, of this merchandise, of this franchise. Why create something so little? Who knows how much money they made off this? Wally, if you can let me know how much money they made off this production, I need to know, because that was the thing is, in present time, Japanese animation is a multi-trillion dollar industry whereby its main competition are coming from South Korea and China right now. But they don't like the fact that Japanese animation is a global conglomerate. Real talk. It's a big, big deal right now. American cartoon, there's no space for that. You can't even make a crack into this. And when you talk about this one, they want to say, I like the artwork of Afro Samurai. I wasn't too happy with the storyline. I felt like the storyline was kind of lackluster. I feel like the storyline could have done better. That was bugging me. I was like, no. You could have got something more to this. There gotta be something.
Yeah, like I said, I think it was just something of like an intro to anime. That's why I just like I said, that's why I just give it like you know, people who are newbies, check out these small series first. And then, like I said, it's really an OVA series. So we keep it real. OVAs are, I know people don't know what OVAs are, but OVAs are normally, they're basically like short or extras to like a certain series that are like part of canon. But the difference is they're not the original start episodes. They're like the extra ones you didn't get. So for example, when damn, I'm trying to think of one. So for example, I got a couple. So there's a series called Freezing. They have OVAs, like kind of like extra scenes with characters that they did in the manga, kind of like for like fun or for like or like have like an extra episode of a story. Actually, better example. Okay, this anime, I love it a lot. And it only has like 12 or 11 episodes, and it's called Ungo. Now, with that series, there's actually a plot going on, but how did these characters like they already like have what they are established of what they are, but with when the OVA comes out by the end, you get the answers of like how that entity came to be and things of that nature. And I think it's like maybe like 28 or 30 minutes. I watched it and I was like, okay, I got my answer to that. They didn't need to show it in the main story, but when you get it at the end, it ups the story for you. It like elevates it a lot more. It wasn't weaker or anything, but when they do things like that, they'll give you like one or two episodes at the very end. I'm like, okay, we're gonna give you answers to these two that we didn't give in the show, and then when we got it, like okay, we got a good story, but can we get more and more answers of like why these entities came into being? Once you get that, then it's like, okay, that's what an OVA is normally. But they're like kind of like extra episodes you didn't get to questions that you didn't get in the story sometimes. Now with Afro Samurai, it's just literally it has the number of the OVA series, but it made like a short, like I said, it managed to be as short as like Fooly Cooly, if anything, like one of those series. So that's really what it is. Like if they did get any money from it, I mean, kudos to them. but I don't imagine they get a lot like they would from a Naruto or Bleach or a One Piece or
Mm.
even like seasons that at the very early. I'm trying to think of something early, like let's say Gundam, for example. And I'm gonna use Gundam 00 for
Mm-hmm.
example. Gundam 00 probably would have come up around this time, the first season, not the second season. Second season came out a year after, because they had to build up and get the production and stuff, and I had a movie as well. But it would have with stuff like that, you had 24 episodes because you're gonna give us a story, and you know how Gundam is. Gundam is complex in everything. They make sure to add every like layer, every character has a function, has a direction that they're going. And then when season one ends, you end on which by the way I do like, you get a big ass cliffhanger of the characters dealing with the consequences at the end of that. And not to mention we have a death of a unit that was starting to understand one another. And I'm talking about outside of what our mission is. And then the young one, who is the youngest amongst them, who pilots the Exia, has a character arc. Literally, he has to come back as the leader. From being the youngest to having to grow up the quickest, and actually have to experience some loss and some consequence. And then when season 2 starts, it's like, wow, this motherfucker really matured. He was fighting the whole time. So it's like yeah. Give me a second, guys. But it's like things with that makes the anticipation for more episodes or anime be fun because you're not limited to 6 episodes. You've done 25. And they're going to give you another 25 after that. And then that, like I said, you get a total of 50 episodes altogether. That's why I say longer series have a way of building up good story, plot, development, plot twist, Black David's favorite word, development, and characterization. You get characterization with longer series. You don't get that with short series sometimes.
Now, here it is. I'll do the comparison between Afro Samurai and Yasuke. Yasuke is on Netflix. That one has 6 episodes.
It did have 6 episodes.
And it had a complex storyline behind it. But here what I would say. The storyline was good, but there should have been more episodes on this.
Yeah, I agree with that. That because you're dealing with the actual Black Samurai of our actual history of Africa. Literally, he's literally an African samurai. And I don't know, the first 3 episodes literally showed his backstory, Oda Nobunaga, and things like that. And I love the hell out of that because we're seeing everything that he did, everything he done, and like how he discovered him, things that like that's an interesting character, but he's historical. That's the thing, and never once is there any jokey type thing going on. It's like we're taking this all seriously because we want to give you something of that original samurai that came to Japan. And like I said, they did add like a supernatural effect to it, or like a mystical effect to it, but in Japanese way. But you end up walking away with like, God damn, I want to know more about Yasuke. By the end of the anime, you do want to know more about him. But the thing is, we made it short because in the history. Because the thing is, in history, I don't think they could have made it 25, but I think they could have made it 13. I think they could have did that, and then we could have discovered more. Where his people are from, where he hailed from, and also we do. But because what the anime did, it showed us how Oda got, like how he got discovered, but he was in Japan and things of that nature. But it's more like in the form of slavery and things of that nature through trade and things. So when characters have that are introduced like that, I knew it was gonna be something short, or unless they they'll show the backstory a little bit, like not everything, but then you'll get it at the very end, or at least second to the last episode. Because what they like to do is like, and because you want was everything is internalized through that character to set up for a climax at the very last. So that's why I say second to last, or maybe a little bit of the last episode. They'll what is that? They'll internalize his character. Is what they'll do. They'll characterize him.
And this is what I'm trying to point out, because talk about this show, Afro Samurai. Look at the character. You have Afro Samurai. Not his real name, but they call him Afro Samurai. Voiced by Samuel L. Jackson. Stoic, brutal, driven by vengeance. Carry his father's sword. Really speak. Action define him. Now, compare this to Yasuke. Yasuke, mind you, he barely speak, but he do speak though. There was a development of his character. His character is better than Afro Samurai character. There was depth to his character. There was a mystique about his character. There was a history about his character. Afro Samurai, which Wally pointed out, your father was murdered by someone who was not qualified to be called a samurai. Right? Took the number one band and dropped number two with you. So you be number two the whole time. You didn't earn it. You didn't fight for it. But you had it ever since. So you tell me it takes you a little child, no one can take number two from you, so you gonna earn your way to get it?
I actually want to correct something to everybody. Black David. So he did. So how he got the number two headband? Actually, the dude who he was training, the dude who took care of him and his friends, the master, he had the number two headband, and then he ended up killing him to get it.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that part.
I think that was episode 4 or 5 that explained that, because I distinctly remember that scene when they're being attacked by these dudes who want to kill like the guy, the friend of the dojo that's teaching them swordsmanship, and it's ultimately his friend is in his second family because his family's gone. He literally comes out and says, "I have the number two headband," and he says, "You say you can give over your life for revenge, or you can come and take this from me," and he literally killed him.
Makes sense.
And took it. So when the series starts, we already see him have it, but we got it through a backstory how he got the number two. It was just that. It's just that,
yeah, he got it.
In the order that he got it, it was like he already had it, but if they did it like his backstory through that, then it would have been like a straightforward story. Then at that point, like I'm talking about, like after his dad dies, they pick him up, such and such, leads up to that. Then by episode 3, we get the full on story, and then it's like, okay, that's what happened, and now that's why he has it. But all the time we start, he's been had it, is what it seems like.
And I get that. But look at the villain, Justice, voiced by Ron Perlman, a main antagonist, a gunslinging cowboy-like samurai who killed Afro father, became number one twisted philosophical villain. Now, I look at Blue Eye Samurai. The villain, who was not Japanese, for no origin, other countries, but he was more samurai-like than this character. If I were to say this was a much better villain than Justice. You know what I'm saying? But this guy had a gun. I'm like, seriously, yeah, that I understand. It was a future version of Japan. I get that, futuristic. So the supernatural is almost like non-existent in that realm. I totally get it, but just like Wale said, the storyline was kind of like straightforward. So for someone who want to fight for representative in the Japanese animation genre, you had this. Well, Yasuke did a better job than this.
Oh yeah.
How will you look at this product as a whole? There's like an introduction. Yes. Maybe it was like an introduction with 5 to 6 EV episodes.
Right.
Okay, fine. But the character was almost falling flat. Good. Which also no different from Ninja. Also, the voice of Samuel L. Jackson, Afro, loud, comedic, talkative companion, revealed it to be a figment of Afro imagination, embody his suppressed humanity and doubt. So, are you saying you schizophrenics? That's the thing. And that was a figment of imagination. Ninja is more like chatter. He chat too goddamn much.
Right.
That's why I'm saying that that's it's like the schizophrenic side of himself. He loses it. Trying to keep quiet, not speaking that way, but which is crazy. Then you got Ron Kutaro, Afro. No, hold on. This is where I have a problem. Roku Taro, Afro father. So what is this guy's real name? Besides Afro Samurai. His father got a real name, but he don't have a real name. What's up? Oh, then number one, who is playing for the Afro as a child, his death set the story in motion. What happened to your real name?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Afro. I mean, and the names aren't. I'm gonna say that. I think that's like a nitpick, but his name is Afro. He doesn't have a last name, so.
Yeah, but your dad had a real name that speaks origin. I mean, he had a
yeah.
Got a history,
Even Kruma had a real name called Gino and shit, but we all know him as Kruma because he has a teddy bear on his freaking head. But I don't know. I just like I said. I don't think it was like I said. I don't think it was too much thought that went into it. Really, the more I think about it, it just
And that
it's like here's some ideas, so let's see if we can bring it to life. And I guess
that was my issue. When I heard it in the airway, they were working on a product called this back in the days before it came on Spike TV. I was questioning it. This was going to my mind. What do you need that for? What were you behind it? And I got to take that Samuel L. Jackson. I knew who he was back then. Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
Doing the animations. That's all not him. It's the same guy who not only does movie, but he does Broadway.
Oh, Broadway. Uh-huh.
He had a background doing Broadway shows. So he did act, but he did a Japanese animation project. Wouldn't it throw you off?
Yeah.
No, tell me if I'm wrong, because like I said, this show, Anime Unlock, no anime is safe.
So, well, real quick, one. Because you asked questions in between and everything else, so may as well just answer these damn things.
Back to question, no worry. Because I was about to go in and go into the murder world because I try not to murder this project like we did other ones.
Apparently. With each episode cost $1 million, so pretty much for the whole series, it was $5 million. Then if you were to also factor into the movie, that was another $5 million for that. So you can pretty much say between the episodes and plus also the movie, that's both $10 million. Based upon 08's report, 10 mil. Based upon 08's reports, it was stated that the series generated, keyword, this is the series, not the movie. The series generated $30 million within U.S. distribution under Funimation. So this was a successful just by being 5 episodes, pretty much, relatively. So you can take it from there, right? Like 13 million, 5 in production. So that means what? There was 8 mil left on the table. You can play with the idea of if they had a little bit more episodes, huge amount of money would have been made.
Okay, hold on. How much money did?
Oh, go ahead.
How much money did Samuel L. Jackson make from movies and TV series?
TV series that I do not know. Movies more likely probably made more than that, but TV series I don't know. But knowing Samuel L, especially if this is a small project, I don't think so. He really asked for much.
Exactly. It wasn't like I said. It was just like a. To me, it was like something they did for fun.
But let me keep going here. But and then for games, because again they did have games for this. It sold 420 units.
420.
Yeah. Now, of course, you have to figure out what was the original cost when they sold those games, but give or take, knowing it's PlayStation, especially at the PlayStation 3, and then depending on the value of the game, you could somewhat say it was estimated $30 to $40. So you play with that. That's another couple of million right there.
My
Okay.
point now? See my point? What I'm trying to point out? You point out the obvious what I was looking at. When they put this project out there, what was the whole purpose behind it? It was straightforward, that you mentioned. Going to J. Takachi, it was just it was like almost like a whatever project. And based on the numbers, how much they made, it kind of like, well, I put it out there. Okay, let's look at this one. You have Asu. She got a real name. She got an origin. Afro childhood friend and love interest. They don't leave. They want to turn into a cyber assassin by the MT7 clan. Represent Afro.
Okay, well, hold on, because I'm about to get into that part. Because again, people don't want to just wait real quick. But again, the context, yeah. Now, granted, as far as the TV context, that's what the father gave them. He gave the name Afro. But based upon the creator says because this project was influenced by hip hop culture, and yes, Afro is a hairstyle of the culture, pretty much it just aligned to the idea of the culture. So of course, giving Afro not only just the name but the look was just a paying tribute to the culture itself, first and foremost. Now, granted, like I said earlier, the character is of the real life historical figure Yosuke. I hope I'm saying that right.
Yasuke.
Yeah, Yasuke, the black samurai figure within Japan, right? So of course, again, he pays those tributes. But again, the character overall was a fusion between Japanese samurai tradition with black culture mixed together. Granted, yeah, is the name a little bit sketchy for the simple fact that you name him Afro based upon a hairstyle of the culture? Yeah. But then again, at the same time, it's a respectful continuity to the culture. So I got nothing to say about it. Pick a shot.
Shout out to J. Takachi for showing up on the panel, because I'm glad he had input on this, because it was something that I'm sure you and I, J. Takachi, and a few of us were thinking about it for years. Like, you will have that question mark in your head. Why not make it better? Because based on the money they made, and they only got 400 units sold on game, what other merch do they have beside the game?
I don't think they think that far.
You see, that's what I'm trying to point out.
I mean, again, this is not something that they wanted to do. And plus, it's just a quick independent project. I mean, again, if you really wanted to really have the power behind it, you would have eventually made it into an anime, not only into a manga, but a manga that played in a Pacific, section of it all. So again, that's what I'm saying. Like, the fact that it's an independent manga, not related to any like Shogun Jump or Shaman Jump and any other variations, it's chose to be an independent project, and he kept it like this. Again, as small as it is, it definitely has some decency story that could have been expounded way more beyond its measurements. It's just I would say, it's the bare fruit that sits right here. But again, like I said, for anime that's only like 5 episodes with a movie, there's so much a lot, because you can literally sit here and just read the characters alone and be like, there's so much they could have did with this. just because of the mental mind frame of where Afro's headspace is within this whole TV series overall. So yeah.
And the thing is, that character, ninja, that spoiled everything. Really did. Got somebody in here again? Uh-oh. We had the Sparta. Let me find out what you would.
You know I'm here to start shit up.
I know. Let me find out what you would think when you watch this the first time. What would you think when you watched this show when it first came out on Spike TV?
I actually never got a chance to watch it, but I heard about it. I read a lot about it. It's on my list to watch. Dude, I actually have a life, not like you. Facts are facts. But
same here.
It's based on, like you guys said earlier, it's based on the real samurai. That's one thing I think is very fascinating about it.
But that what the other one they did on Netflix, Yasuke, which was it had more depth.
Yeah.
It's
a fascinating story. I'll give him that. It's a very fascinating story. I will give him credit on that. So I can't talk shit about that part. But what I will say, it gravitates to your culture, David. It really does. Not in a bad way, in a very good, respectful way.
Yeah.
You disagree?
I
Go ahead,
don't know,
David. This is your show. You can talk. It's
I know.
No,
I'm saying it because, like, on this show, we said no anime is safe. We're good. If we're bad, we're bad. This show had a massive question. It was so massive. Even though you were saying it was based on real history, then you could at least put some depth into the character of Afro Samurai, because when they did Yasuke years later, his character creation it overshadowed. It's like saying, let's quietly erase the mistake we made with Afro Samurai, because we were trying to do this, but it didn't come out the way we were supposed to do. So this could be I am sorry for doing the production. This should make up for it. That was Yasuke on Netflix. That was exactly what it was. Yet it has 6 episodes, but when you watch it, you want to see more of that. Like, no. You can't cut it short. You want to see more. What got on him? What is his origin? How he got on that ship before he came to Japan? What's more about? Let's know more about this guy's story. That had depth. We can make more money out of this. Afro Samurai, I look at the storyline. I look at the character, Asuru and Kuma, 2 of his childhood friends. Which you don't have no back. That's too much of a backstory. Both got kidnapped and both got turned into cybernetic warriors. Like seriously, like make it make sense. The plot was not connecting. How no offense, your love interest got kidnapped and turned to an assassin just so she can come and get you. How that went about? And your childhood friend also got kidnapped. Like, what was going on with the story? Like, the whole plot was not adding up. It was not. It's not as bad as Gun Graveman, who we went in on heavy, because that was a letdown.
Which show was it again, David?
Gun Graveman. That was the biggest letdown in anime.
Gungrave?
Yes.
I don't think it was a letdown on Gungrave. I told you how I felt about that. The game was a letdown. I'll give you that much. Yes.
The game was a waste of time.
Yeah, that I cannot argue with you.
Afro Samurai have a better game than Gungrave. The anime could have gone further, even though they based it off Trigun in a way. Because they had the author of Trigun to help build a plot for that.
Well, let me throw in one more thing.
Go ahead.
The first game did well. The second one was a disgrace. Literally, it's been.
The last one's pretty bad too, Wally. I don't know if you played the last one that came out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The Afro Samurai 2 game, that was a disgrace. It was literally chopped off the market the moment people saw it or played it. Literally.
And in total, it only sold 400 units. Keyword.
No. 420 units. That was the first game.
Okay. Second one was how many units?
Again, that's what. Did you not just hear what the words that came out of my mouth?
You got
Probably
chopped.
not. He has selective hearing sometimes.
No. I want people to. I just want to hear the number because like only 420 for the first unit. For the first one that came out,
Again,
that's not much.
If you average 30, 40 bucks, do the math. That's around $1 million. You took another $1 million for a freaking TV show that only had 5 episodes on a movie. Not bad, honestly. Think about it. I'm gonna play a game that only had 5 episodes.
He has a good point there, David.
In a movie? Well, no, the movie wasn't even the first game. The actually the 5 episodes of the first game. But still, 5 episodes. Voila. Okay.
Let him do the calculation. 420 units, right? Like you said.
If you put 30 or 40, it automatically is going to be $1 million because you add another 0 on top of that to the side.
How much did the game come out to PS3? How much would it cost average?
Like I said, on average, knowing back then for the PlayStation 3, most average games at the start were probably 40. But again, because of what Afro Samurai was, I say average it from 30 to 40.
Okay.
40,
very high end. Back then it was on a very.
You said they sold 420 units, right?
Yeah, 420K.
You know the total is? 16,800.
60,800. That's not the number. 420K?
Oh, 420K unit? Oh.
That's what.
I thought you said 420 unit. My bad. 420.
Why do you think I keep saying it would hit the mill?
Yeah, you're right. That was 16,800,000. Right. I still feel like there was a waste of time. Could have done better.
Either which way. With that said, let me hit you with this real quick before you continue to go on and read the rest of this because I think we're almost like 2 hours in here, one way or the other.
You're hitting over 2 hours now.
Oh well, either which way.
Doesn't matter to me.
Okay, so pretty much there is an added to this, right? So as far as when it comes to was there an idea premise of continuing this story? Well, it is said while there is no official announcement of a new anime series or film, the creator has expressed interest in continuing the story. In addition, Samuel Jackson, who major part of the franchise identity, has also stated a desire to return as the character. However, as of now, there are no confirmed new projects. The rights of the franchise are complex, and getting all key players, Gonzo Studio, Samuel Jackson, and RZA on board for the new project is a significant challenge. So pretty much this is like in a pothole between 3 different pieces of people.
If it's safe to say the project is dead,
it all depends. Again,
because
you have to have enough time.
We talk about IP many times on this show. When it comes to IP, the person who control the power over that can say if we do a reboot or revamp. They found out this IP is divided in 3 pieces. Samuel L. Jackson could have gotten like maybe 40% on that IP, but he had his voice and his name on it. And Gonzo could have like about what, 30, and the other agents have 30. So it's like almost a 3-way split. And someone say, I ain't doing no more project because I just did this for the sake of just see how cool it look. I don't feel like going in further into this.
So, David, this is one of these projects that crashed before it was before the ink dried on paper, unfortunately. As much as I hate to say that, it's facts. I think it's a great anime, but a lot of times when you take an anime from anime animation into a real life thing, that's where you fall short sometimes. And we've seen it happen over and over. Dragon Ball Z is a great example. It crashed miserably in the movies, the movie version. It was one of the worst adaptations of an anime to a movie. Now Netflix is doing a decent job, but
Yeah,
not all of them are
but
hits.
which one was what? The Dragon Ball Z live action movie or the Fist of the North Star version? Which one was what between those two?
I'm talking
Which,
about Dragon Ball Z right now. I
the
think that's
Dra-
the worst one, in my opinion.
okay, we're gonna do a show on that one soon, very soon.
I got a question
Show.
for you guys, really fast, between you guys, all right? Because you guys watch Dragon Ball Z Diamond, right?
Yeah, I
Mhm.
did. Oh no. Wally did, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So here's my question to you guys. All right. What is with Dragon Ball turning everybody to kids? Do you have like a kids fetish or some shit like that? They did it in GT. They did it in Daima. Come on, guys. Like, enough is enough turning kids. You have a kids fetish or some shit like that?
Yeah, Sparta. For me, I don't watch it
So,
because of that reason.
I
turn-
literally just finished watching it the other day.
It's
so we
retarded.
just turned this to a moment of throwing in another anime just to question their thought process of why this is always turning back to kids related RS. Okay.
Yeah.
For the fast depending answer of it all is A, it's Dragon Ball that started by being kids. That's one thing for sure.
Mhm.
Two, I mean, if I'm speaking for my own idealistics of why they do that consistently, it's the depending funny factor of knowing that these characters are infinitely youthful for the very ends of their livelihood, that they just want to play on jokes. It's just funny, literally.
I
It's
mean,
a funny tangent. That's what it is. That's the comedy part about it all. Like always seeing Goku or any other characters go back and being kids. Like you would always sit there and say to yourself, what would they always look like if they were kids back in the damn day? Well, here it is.
It wasn't a bad series. It wasn't up to Dragon Ball's, par. I give it that much. But again, it was an okay series. I give it a 5 out of 10, personally.
but I yeah, for like it's the same. I hate that. It's the same concept as like in Pokemon, like the Forever Kids or some shit, like the same age and shit.
Ugh.
Don't get me started on that shit. But
No, Pokemon is worse than Dragon Ball because Astro Forever 12 for how many years?
40 years.
40, no, not exactly 40 years, my man. It ain't that long. It feels like that. I think you feel like that, but damn, Pokemon came out in the 2000s, like somewhere around there. Old, so 20,
25 years?
30, 23 years, yeah.
Now, me being as mean as I am, don't you think Pokemon entered the polyphia realm like you having an undercover person who is past his age, pretending to be young? Like, hello.
Damien,
I mean, it was.
trust me.
No,
I mean,
because
it was all geared towards kids more often than not. And remember,
I get it.
every time they would introduce a new region, it was just promotion for the damn games. The new ones that would keep coming out. So they were profiting off. Let's keep it real. They actually are smart. They were profiting off the anime, the games, and then the mobile games when they did that. Or
And don't
books.
forget a
The
card game,
books.
bro.
Yeah.
that was highway robbery. They were programming kids to terrorize their parents. Mommy,
What was that?
mommy, I want this. Mommy, I want that. Daddy. You know how much parents was emptying their pocket buying Pokemon merchandise for their terrorists of a child?
Wait, now they're terrorists?
Wally, don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about.
You're calling kids terrorists now. Lord have mercy. What have we become?
When they get to the toy store, do they act like kids or do they act like terrorists? Let's be real.
Well, wait a minute. So what are we trying to get at? Lord have mercy. Now they're betraying the country, eh? God damn.
I'll betray the country. I'm sorry.
No. You call the kids terrorists, sir. So you're telling me the kids are
Ladies
betraying
and
the country?
gentlemen,
Lord have mercy.
if anyone remember the era of the Toys R Us kids stores, when
I
you
remember
bring
those.
your
I
kid,
lived in Toys R Us as a kid.
when you bring your kid into the store, what happened to these kids' personalities? The moment
They ran wild and go enjoy having playing time.
bingo.
Okay.
And who had to chase the overactive, over energized, full of energy kids?
I don't know about chasing. Shit, me.
Who come home looking like they fought a war?
Shit, me. Well, shit, me.
Parents.
You was looking at everybody coming home
Their
looking like they came
employers.
from
The
wars.
poor guys who used to work there. I feel bad for those guys. That's why half of them became addicts.
So imagine they were a huge sale, big Pokemon sale. You have the big Pokemon mascot, everything. You know how much money Toys R Us made off that? They were making killing. Pokemon was the biggest franchise in anime history, whereby they spent so much to the point they even got Lego into the mix of things. They were into the
Is it really?
games.
I didn't know that.
Man, they were into the gaming industry. The mobile, man, come on. Jacob got to know that when they did the Pokemon mobile on the phone, when they flooded time
Pokemon Go?
the Pokemon Go, yeah. When they
Yeah,
flooded
yeah,
it on Central Park,
Yeah. Pokemon Go became popular as people were getting out of their cars on highways playing that shit that I was hearing. I never played it because of that exact reason. I'm like, motherfuckers are going crazy with this shit.
okay.
Yeah, they would do like it was a major thing in what year was that? 2016
I believe I
or
can remember.
15, I think it was 2015 or like 2016. That I remember hearing things about that shit. Like it got great.
Bro, back then I used to work for I used to cook in an office building, and every employee used to walk down with their phones in their hands everywhere. It was they had to put a patch on or some shit like that because people were literally crashing their cars as they were playing it. Like I remember people getting jumped in New York City for that game.
Yep. My sister played that shit too, by the way.
So you know what I'm talking about that.
Well, I think she was walking toward an abandoned church or some shit, trying to catch something. And I was like, what the fuck? That's what she told me. And I was just like, yes. That's why I never played it. And I'm like, that shit'll get you killed. That shit'll get you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Anime Unlock. As we unlock more anime than we were supposed to talk about. Go ahead.
No, I just get
Oh my God!
Oh my god, yeah, exactly. But yeah, that shit was ridiculous. The stories that I was hearing that were getting posted, I'm just like, your motherfuckers really like this is bad as going. This is bad about people getting in their cars for a fucking Popeye spicy chicken sandwich or some shit that just got created. Like that shit. That's how bad it was.
But
People
now
were,
that you
people
now
were
that
like,
you mention it, Jay, now that you mention it, how crazy it is, how much money do you think they was rocking? They was rocking a billion. Mind you.
say that again?
Pokemon Go was rocking in billions globally.
They were. Yeah.
And the thing is, it was always on the news more than any other franchise. So when it comes to anime has to make money on their merch. But Afro Samurai was barely more like like at least do something so you can make better merch out of it. That's what I asked earlier in the show. For the past 5 or 10 Comic-Con convention you might have gone to, how many people you see dressed up as Afro Samurai? It's like almost non-existent. But you see plenty of people do Yasuke now. But Yasuke have a much deeper categorization. This is what I'm trying to
last
talk
year
about.
when I went to New York Comic Con, we had a lot of Ash Ketchums, a lot of
Oh yeah.
what is it called? Naruto. We had it was a lot of anime characters. Don't get me wrong with that, but Afro Samurai, zero.
Well, like I said, it fell off. But to add to the Pokemon thing, that's because that character just had finally won the champ. Like in the anime, like he had just became like the world champion, literally, of the world. And that's why a lot of people like you get more people to cosplay him and do things like that. Is because he won. So they kind of like they were promotionalizing like this is the last episode of Journeys. This dude literally won, so you'll get more people to cosplay as that character. And hey man, that makes sense when you think about it like
Now,
that.
here's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm criticizing this thing bad, but that's so harsh. Look at it right here. 2007, 5 episodes, studio Gonzo, director Fuminori Kazaki. This series had it got nominated for the Emmy Award for Outstanding Animated Program. Like, really? This thing got nominated? You serious? In 2009, it did a movie called Afro Samurai Retribution. It had big name actors in the production. You got Samuel L. Jackson, you got Ron Perlman, you got Kelly Hu, and you got Lucy Liu. 4 big names in this. It got nominated for an Emmy. How many anime do you know got nominated for an Emmy?
None.
And they're way better than this. Way better. The only reason they got nominated for an Emmy is because of Samuel L. Jackson is in there, Ron Perlman is in there, Kelly Hu, and Lucy Liu. It was a 5-episode TV miniseries aired on Spike TV in the US and on Fuji TV in Japan. It didn't do so much. You have Mark Hamill in the thing. And it got an award?
Yeah,
No,
for the movie.
it got nominated. It got nominated for an award, for an Emmy. I'm not sure if it won. But how many great anime out there didn't get nominated for an Emmy? Naruto.
Notice though, the Emmy was went off of what? The movie.
I get it for the movie. Naruto had a movie. Bleach got a movie. Dragon Ball got a movie.
And those
And,
movies
and
were
guess
horrible.
what? Most of those and guess what? Dragon Ball's animation movie was what? Quote unquote, before back then in that timeline, quote unquote non-canon.
Oh, we're talking about the anime movies. Yeah, the anime movies were pretty decent, but the live action movie was horrible.
And then what I'm trying to point out. Because when you look at Yasuke didn't have a crazy ass afro. He had dreads. We don't sure the guy afro is really an afro or is a weapon in disguise. Like the EST of wrestling, WWE.
Afro dreads. I mean, either which way, you appropriately putting the character in the right position.
Hey, it's what it is. This is what I'm trying to call. This is why I like this show, because we're not sparing if it was great, it was great. If it was bad, I'm not gonna put this one on the same category with Gungrave. I will say it had a question mark. It could have done better. The fact that we found out that the IP is divided on a 3-way, and we know Samuel L. Jackson not gonna revisit this project again. He don't have no interest in this at all. So Gungrave can't do jack about it. It's not safe to say. They did a sequel to the miniseries. It was in the movie. It's only go so far, and that's just about it. This is why I'm looking at things for what it is. And here what it says. The manga is different from the anime slightly in the pacing and the style. So, I mean, it had more material. Could have gone longer than 5 episodes. They got great artwork. I give it that, hands down. It was doing great. You could have at least 12 episodes, not just 5. Make it 12. Make it interesting. I didn't get that.
A shorter series is better than a longer series. At least the waters.
Yeah, I actually wanted to add something to that. My brother, shout out to him right now. He likes shorter series. I don't mean like 6 episodes particularly, but he likes the 12 or the 24. He's used to those series. But when it's like the really, really long ones, when they get to like 50, then freaking like 60, so it's like this shit gets annoying to him. And I can understand why. We don't want to be in that era like just having to. I'm not saying we when I say that, I mean like people, but somebody doesn't like all that long ass reading. Sometimes they just want a concise story that's kind of like really like maybe like 50 episodes, 25 episodes, or 30. Or 26. I was 26, and I've seen 26, something in that 25 or 26 particularly. And it's just like we like it, like people like it's short and sweet, where it's not overly convoluted sometimes, and then they like it to be simple. Like I said, I think there's arguments to be made on. Oh, sorry about that. I think there's arguments on either side for like I like something short or I like something long, so it just depends. But I think people like it fitting. Say it again, Wally.
Are we speaking on season wise?
I meant as a series. Like so, for example, the series like if it has 30 episodes,
season 1
then
has
it's like
24 episodes.
Yeah.
All right, I'll let that go.
Yeah. Like I said,
I'm glad Wally opened up his eye because here's the thing.
13.
In a month from now or two, we'll talk about the longest running one, aka One Piece. Because I'm hearing a lot of people.
I know something longer than that. Try to know manga.
I know you know that.
It's still going.
But here's the thing. People on the social media area are saying all type of crap. All these anime that have so many episodes, like it's boring or corny. I remember there was a content creator, a black content creator on a YouTube who was talking crap about One Piece until he decided to bring at least up to 100 episodes into it. And out of nowhere, same dude who was talking real shit on them. Out of nowhere, all of a sudden he got converted to the Church of One Piece.
David, you have no room to talk. You know why I say that?
Why?
You don't even watch Sailor Moon. You know what? I'm gonna do you a favor. You're gonna have to watch. You're gonna post it.
Sparta. Hey, wait, Sparta. I actually plan on doing the Sailor Moon live stream discussion.
Screw you, the Sparta. Don't talk about it.
Yeah. Sparta, if you want to join my stream on that, you're welcome to join that.
Send me an email and give me the information what day that is, huh? So I can do.
All right, definitely. Like I said, it might be next. If anything, it might be next month because, like I said, I'm dealing with some stuff this month, and when the month is over, I'll have more time to set it up. But mostly, I'm gonna talk about like the original and the remake, but mostly the remake because the remake is a lot darker than the original.
I agree 100%.
And you said you agree with that?
Yes, I like the remake better than the original.
Yeah, and another thing is anybody who's like read the book or whatever. And by the way, guys, I had a girlfriend that watched this. I was dating her at the time when I was in freaking middle school, so you can thank her for letting me watch. For me getting into, I have a good excuse for getting into it because she watched. So I watched DBZ and she watched that with me, and then I watched She had Sailor Moon and I watched that with her, and then I would walk her home after Sailor Moon was over. Is what I would do. So boys have a good boys have a way of like getting around that where it's just like because it was girly. Like no, actually a little different. There was a dude in there. And all I know is that this dude could get Sailor Moon and like RZA her up if he wanted to, and that was Tuxedo Mask. So
you get her a little
like
wet.
that. So yeah, but no, but when it came to the art, when they did the remake, like the art is exactly out of the manga. That's another thing. There's no filler, and it's a straightforward story. They're not like, oh god, the original. I tell people this. I said, dude, do you know how many episodes of fillers you got before you got to like Sailor Saturn? Like literally, like it was like 30 episodes of fucking filler, and I was like, hell no.
The thing I like about
Jay
the Sailor Moon
Kakashi,
Crystal.
you proved my point. You said it would cut off like good, and I was saying it. To watch
David,
Sailor
I
Moon,
used to watch it because I thought it was pretty good anime, to be honest with you, back then.
Yeah, I thought it was too, and that's to mention I had a crush on a couple of girls when I saw it, even though I had a girlfriend. Like my Mars was my chick. Yeah, like she was hot. No pun intended, because she's fire.
You proved me correct.
Yeah.
You proved me correct. See, now this one wanna throw me on the bus because you know what? I watched Sailor Moon. And I know guys in high school and middle school who look, I like the legs. I was like, oh, this part was it was really
Like,
oh my god.
yeah, like so for example, my girlfriend when we watched GBC when we were younger, she liked freaking Vegeta. so it's like the same thing. Like it's like I believe like both guy and girls like they have certain character types that they like when they watch an anime, and if they like the edgy type look, which Vegeta fit fucking perfectly. Pardon my French, he fit perfectly. She liked him because this motherfucker is kind of like he's a prince, and he says I'm better than everybody, and she just loves that. She loves that.
Here's the
Like,
problem. Vegeta
Yeah.
is the epic of an asshole. Vegeta was an epic asshole character.
Yeah.
A lot of the girls love.
That was one of the reasons she dated me. So, well, I was a jackass. But a triple little asshole, so it worked. But yeah. But yeah. So like, my excuse was because my girlfriend watched it, and then I watched it with her. But DBZ came on first before Sailor Moon on Toonami. Everybody knows that. DBZ
You had a
Sailor
girlfriend, but you had a girlfriend. I didn't have no girlfriend. There was no girl going to force me to watch Sailor Moon.
I watched it because I did enjoy the show, to be honest with you, David. Because
Yeah. There were guys. Yeah, and like I said, I wasn't. And I tell people this. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. I was like, damn, this is actually pretty good. The movies. I'll be honest. I think the movies are a lot more like world-ending type stuff. Is what they were going for. Like the plant. Well, like the first one with the plant. Like the planet of plant creatures that came to Earth that were literally trying to take over. That literally sent from the moon to the Earth, and then you have number 2 where like this ice demon comes out of nowhere, has been rest, and then she needs and then the main character needs all the Sailor Scouts in order to fucking like banish her ass, like literally banish her. So I thought the movies were creative, similar to like the DBZ movies in some sense. But I don't give homage to that third one. That third one, I think they were trying too hard. They were trying to go for a candy-coated fever dream with Chibi Moon in that third one. That's why I'm like I think the first two did a really good job of making.
I'm gonna watch the revamped version of Sailor Moon. See, I could give it a proper credit because the first original one, I was not feeling it so well.
Hey, Sparta. There's one thing that me and my boys agree with. We couldn't go out with. I mean, I'm saying we couldn't, but the only way you go out with Sailor Moon is because you lose your virginity in Sailor Moon is because she's a dumb blonde. So that was a joke that we all made. Because
it might be unique here. Everybody like said when watching as growing up, I always said, "Oh man, someone was hot," and she was a real person on Banger. I thought Mars was the hottest one.
They say what?
They was like if Sailor Moon was real, they were a banger. But I thought Mars was a hotter one than Sailor Moon.
Nah, she's too stupid for me, man. I thought about it when I got older. I was like, yo, I don't like because the thing is, I said this. Like that's too much. correct thing I would have to do if I dated somebody like that. I couldn't do it because I come out like I said, I can't have sex with a dumb girl. It's just not possible.
Ladies, real quick, Jay, before you continue, hold on. Ladies, understand here today, I'm the only one on this panel that ain't saying the shit that's being said on this panel right now. Thank you very much. I just want to say that. Lord have mercy.
Remember what I said yesterday on my show.
So he's excluded him from his conversation. Like, y'all can hate me as much as y'all want.
You know what?
I'm
Next
cool with
month,
that.
we should schedule a date to talk about Sailor Moon. I'm coming for this.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll even make the thumbnail for it.
You coming? I want to see the SmackDown on that show.
SmackDown. I mean, it won't be so much of a SmackDown as much as like I can give an actual valid reason why I think it's a good series, especially for my daughter to watch, future daughter to watch. So I have no problem with that particularly. Besides,
And I get it.
I'm gonna be a father of any kind. I gotta like weed out some of these animes that are a little who may come. Hey, listen, we're in an era now like. There's like animes that like put girls sexy ass outfits. So I have to make sure that my daughter's watching something wholesome and not something.
And that's the thing.
You gotta keep one thing in mind. In overseas, including my country, Greece, sex is looked at a different way versus Americans do. That's the thing.
Exactly. Like for example, I know what witch is. Witch is actually wholesome. My daughter can watch that. I got the damn books. Yeah, she can watch that shit. That shit's clean. It's American made, but it's clean. So I'm like, she can watch that. She can watch that. And she can watch. Oh, by the way, the most popular one in Japan is called Precure. I'm not ever watching that, but I know it's little girls in dresses and trying to like beat up monsters, and I'm like, that's so silly. But she can watch that because there's nothing sexual about that or any type of way. It's like, yeah, nothing about that. And I'm like,
you get my point why I don't watch certain anime, because some anime you give it that weird feel like, why would I want to watch this? Like, I know I'm too.
Yeah, no. I agree with you. That's one thing I do agree with. I am never watching Preacher, but I keep seeing like clips about that thing, and I'm like, well, they just are like cutesy wootsy girls and dressed with handbags. And you're telling me they're trying to fight like DBZ characters? This is the stupidest thing that I've ever seen. But at the same time, a girl can watch that if she wants to. It's just silly. But at the same time, we were watching like 5-minute power ups and like dudes trying to punch and kick each other and shoot key blasts like it destroy the planet. So
and you wonder why I said we need some female hosts on this show, because there are some female anime. I might be like, Sparta. I'm not.
I can try to get us one.
See, that is my point. That's why we need female host, because I have Wally here trying to throw me on the bus. Now I got this one want to throw me on the bus.
I'm not throwing you on the bus. Well, watch your mouth, because I shoot fires. I will shoot you, girl.
So Wally's trying to throw me under the bus. He's trying to shoot me.
God damn.
I don't want Sailor Moon.
Groot, baby Groot, behave.
It's bear paw.
One, and first and foremost, I don't throw you under the bus. You do that to yourself already.
I'm bear paw. Remember? Hello. Let me fetch your memory. Lady don't choose me; they choose the bear.
All right, David. I have a secret weapon against you tonight.
I mean, they can choose the dude. I actually, I gotta tell you guys, I actually met a woman who said she would pick a bear just recently. That I thought it was just an internet thing, but yeah, this shit is real. But just I just wanted to give you the heads up on that. That was not a lie. What I said, this was just yesterday.
David,
she has kids too. So, but she's married though. Good to her.
David, if you keep poking the Spartan has a secret weapon against you tonight.
Don't worry. And all the lady will come to me and say I'm bear paw, aka the bear.
You sure you want to play that game, David?
Hey, It was Reckless Ray that called me Bear Paw.
All right. Finish your
The
slide.
same way the Peep Network called me Black David. So I kept up to a nickname and I hold on to the hell type. So I am Black David, thanks to the Peep Network, and I'm Bear Paw, thanks to Reckless Ray. You don't fit me.
Let's continue the slide. I got you, bro. Just remember that.
Don't worry.
You're gonna eat those words tonight. I promise you that.
Don't let me send my fan club after you.
All right, let's get through the slides.
So for the Sailor Moon stream, since I normally have Sundays off, I can set it up for like either 8 or 9, and that shouldn't be too bad. But
Sundays,
but it'll be yeah Sunday if that's good for
I do
everybody.
a show with Paul on Sunday nights. So
what time?
9:30. Between 8:30 and 9:30 depends on what my schedule looks like that day.
Oh, okay. Like I said, I think best case scenario, like Friday.
Friday will work, actually.
Yeah, Friday night, right around
Like I said,
9.
Like I said earlier, email me. My emails should be in a prescription of our shows, and just hit me up and we'll work something out. All right, man.
All right, definitely.
Well, we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah. Shout out to Sparta for Sailor Moon. Like my buddy. Oh, by the way, my buddy, he just started rewatching the remake, with his girlfriend, and like the first 3 episodes, he likes the introduction of how they look right now. He actually likes the art. He's surprised. He said it's a little bit more darker than what he remembers. So
I'll like this. If you about to wrap up, so we have covered most of this already. This one, the theme and symbolism, is more so. I don't like the bottom part, technology versus tradition. Because when I was watching it, I was like, it's overwhelming. It doesn't really do the anime justice. Every time making hip and making cool as well. Identity and race issue. I wanted the whole character all black. That was the thing of it. So we don't no big deal of it. My thing is this production. It had a great soundtrack. It had everything going for it, but the storyline was lackluster. It got to a point whereby they said it inspired. It was more so Yasuke was replacing Afro Samurai. Samurai Champloo, it had 12 episodes. It was intriguing. It was cool as hell. So I can't say it inspires something when something outdo you. That is my concern. So that's my final thought. So what's your final thought, Spartan? So this anime, because I know me,
I think it should be on everybody's list to at least check it out. At least watch a couple first episodes. If you're into it, you're into it. If you're not, you're not. There's nothing wrong with that. I think any anime we mentioned up here, you should be at least on the list at some point of your anime journey to say, hey, I gotta check this shit out. But David, before we go, are you done with the slides?
Excuse me?
Are you done with the slides? Because I have my reason I'm asking you.
I'm going to slide.
Yeah. No, hang on. I received an email today from somebody.
Okay. What email are you talking about? What's going on? Everybody frozen already?
yeah, I think he's frozen.
Yeah, he might have. Yeah, I was like, what happened to him?
She started talking, and then after that, he like froze.
See what he's showing right now?
Jiu-jitsu is this? Get this shit up! Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy!
Oh my God, my fucking yo!
Now here's the thing, though, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I'm no longer in that particular network called the Black.
I told you I got you.
I know you got me, but here's the problem. I'm nowhere big like that. That's more
I know you're not.
You side.
I know you're not. Oh God, thank God.
Like I'm that type of person. Now here's a joke though.
If I see anybody like that, bro, I swear to God, I'm going to
see me in the gym. They would say, Black David nowhere near that. I call hater.
David,
Number two, Black David is more of a beast.
Oh man.
Because if you come to doing weightlifting, I have a bad habit of not controlling myself sometimes. Come to weightlifting. And
Jay,
someone like to push it.
Yeah, Jay, if you look in the private chat, I put my email there for you.
Okay. Hold on, I'm about to copy and paste.
So what is your final thought on this anime, Jay Kakashi, concerning Afro Samurai? Your own opinion.
I think it's a good introduction into like people getting into anime who don't want to be overwhelmed by a lot of episodes. That's another thing. We're in a period now where things are just so long and dragged out. This happened to be a series that you can, just watch the first time and be like, amongst any others, add to your list. I actually like what Sparta said. Thank you for your anime journey. I like the term your anime journey because you gotta for a start, it's good, but like I said, I think it leads you to want to watch something a little bit like more complex things like that, especially if you like plots and characters. So I think don't get your hopes up, but at least you'll get some good action and a little bit of funny, not a little bit, a lot of funny comedy in there. And your man Afro piped a beautiful Japanese woman, so you should be happy about that. But I think overall, listen, if you're starting a journey, start with something less intimidating, and this is one of those things. Enough said. I'm gonna repeat myself. That's what I think.
Wally, your final thought and view about this production called Afro Samurai. What's your feeling and view about it? Wally?
Wally.
Hope I didn't heard his feeling about.
Wally got traumatized by that video, and I can't blame him.
Blame.
Hey, did I hear church? Isn't that
Blame this
also
guy. He's responsible for that nonsense.
I love my Stream Deck.
Don't worry, I'll try and get one.
Ladies and gentlemen,
You can do your phone.
I hope you were.
I can't say this out loud, but
I hope you were.
Go for it, Wally. I'm sorry. Go for it, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, I truly hope you were entertained. As much as I can fucking say, literally, the rest of the show was even the rest of the show. Hopefully, you just were entertained by the fuckery. Hopefully, you were. And ladies, remember, I did not say shit.
I did.
All I want to know. I did not say not a damn thing. Just know that I did not say nothing. That's all them.
Okay.
That's all them.
And I'm gonna say
the you know what in the room was you know what in the room. Just know that. Just know that.
Hey, everybody. My name is Jay Takashi. Listen, I don't regret a single shit that I said. I am 100% real. This is not a freaking persona or online joke. Everything I said is real, and I stand by that. Shout out to Afro Samurai. Shout out to Sailor Moon, and hey, Mars, Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter can get it, and so can Pluto. So I don't give a fuck. And I said that when I was damn, how old was I? I think I was like 14, 15 when I saw them. Yeah. So that's the statement I was going by when I was younger. So shout out to that. Everybody here is awesome. Sparta, Black David, thanks for having me. Wally, kudos to you for sending me the link. Appreciate it. Thanks for getting me back in the anime game podcast.
After your closing, tomorrow we have Next Gen Training with Paul Bennett and Coach Furs. Saturday show, what the episode we have on Saturday show we were talking about this Saturday?
Wrestling, music theme songs.
Wrestling music and theme song. We'll be visiting that particular part because there's new theme songs that have been coming out lately in WWE, AEW, and etc. And we will start talking about it without seeing which one was catchy, which one they need to ban it, or which one's like And Sunday, we had Gray Area. You know what's going on Sunday? Gray Area? Or it should be announced?
It's gonna be announced because I talked to Paul. I don't remember what we talked about.
No problem. And we'll come back the whole next week. I believe we'll talk about what we'll do on Tuesday and Wednesday later on in the week, because after next week, Wednesday, I think we got to start working on the next list of episodes to work on, because we're now trying to address a different format on the conversation, because
There it
we're
goes,
gonna do
ladies and
something unique
gentlemen.
on this show.
If you having Common Kings, that's the last anime show. And then from there, we'll figure out the rest.
Other than that, it was a great show, great conversation, some weird entertainment at the end, but other than that, it was good. On that note, I am CBN Tector, aka Black David. This is the Sparta at the bottom. Next to me is Wally, aka the Petty Debater, aka I Got That Receipt. On that note, stay safe, be tight. See you next time. Peace.